This one is the anterior triangle, and in the anterior triangle we have to see many more important triangles. This one is the midline, this one is the sternocleidomastoid, this is the base of the mandible that makes the anterior triangle. Anterior triangle is being divided again by the superior belly of the omohyoid. This one is the posterior belly of digastric, this one is the anterior belly of digastric. So in between the anterior belly of digastric and the posterior belly of digastric, this particular area is called the submandibular triangle. Midline, hyoid bone, and the anterior belly of digastric, this is called the submental triangle. Posterior belly of digastric, superior belly of omohyoid, and the sternocleidomastoid, this is called the carotid triangle. And midline, superior belly of the omohyoid, and clavicle, this region is called the muscular triangle. So beginning with the muscular triangle, we find this muscle. This is called the sternohyoid. Lateral to it, these muscles are called the sternothyroid. It goes up to the oblique line of the thyroid, and then above this muscle is called the thyrohyoid, and this is the superior belly of omohyoid. So these are the muscles in the muscular triangle. Next we are focusing into the carotid triangle. In the carotid triangle, this one is the internal jugular vein. This is common carotid artery. In front of the artery we can find this one is the ansa cervicalis. And in between the vein and the artery we find vagus nerve. Behind the vagus nerve, this one is the sympathetic chain, sympathetic trunk. Now medial to the carotid artery, we find this one is the superior thyroid artery. This one is the superior thyroid artery, and it has a branch known as the superior laryngeal artery, and this one is the superior laryngeal nerve. The superior laryngeal nerve at this region divides into internal laryngeal nerve and external laryngeal nerve. This external laryngeal nerve accompanies the superior thyroid artery, internal laryngeal nerve accompanies the superior laryngeal artery, and both of them pierce the thyroid membrane. Next we see this is the posterior belly of digastric along with stylohyoid muscle. This one is stylohyoid muscle and this one is the posterior belly of digastric. Underneath it we find there is a cranial nerve. This cranial nerve is called the hypoglossal nerve, and it gives a branch anteriorly which is called ansa hypoglossi, carries the C1 fiber to supply the thyroid and geniohyoid muscle. Below it, in this body, we find there is a common trunk. This one is a common trunk. It's called the linguofacial trunk, and it divides into a lingual artery and facial artery. This lingual artery immediately having a loop, and that loop is being crossed by the hypoglossal nerve. And this one is the facial artery. It gives the mylohyoid branch, and then it will go up into the face. In this vicinity down, here we find this one, the occipital artery. This one is the occipital artery. This occipital artery is being hooked by the hypoglossal nerve. Then external carotid artery goes up and it emerges at this region. And at this region we find it gives origin to another artery. This is called the posterior auricular artery. and then the external carotid artery. At this region it was within the substance of the parotid gland, and terminally divides into maxillary artery and superficial temporal artery. So these are the stops.